Hello people, it's your boy Osman back again with another video. Manchester United heavily linked with Milinkovic-Savic this Friday evening. Again, Man United linked to another player. We've been linked to Nicolas Pepe. Obviously, it looks like Lazio are going to get him. We were linked to Bruno Fernandes. I was confident that we'd get Bruno Fernandes. It looks like we probably won't get those deals done. It sounds like we haven't got the money or Edward was ridiculously tight. It's one or the other. I don't really know which one it is. For me personally, I just think it's all a smokescreen. I don't think we're going to go for Milinkovic-Savic. However, the rumours do suggest that we are definitely interested in him. It doesn't really make sense for me why we would get Milinkovic-Savic to replace Paul Pogba. Obviously, for me personally, I want Paul Pogba to stay now. I just don't see the point in us selling Paul Pogba and replacing him with Savic, because Savic for me is nowhere near as good as Pogba. And on top of that, if we don't get Fernandes, again, I don't see the point of us buying buying Milinkovic-Savic, selling Pogba and just replacing him with just one player. I think that would be brain dead. However, would I put that past Edward? I absolutely wouldn't. Milinkovic-Savic, on the other hand, is a very good player. For me personally, he's a box-to-box. I don't see why we couldn't play midfielder McTominay as a DM, Milinkovic-Savic as the box-to-box in the 4-2-3-1, and a Pogba in a more advanced role. And Cam, you saw when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came in, he allowed Pogba to play in that Cam position. He was absolutely phenomenal. As you can probably see, I'm burnt, but ignore that. But like I said, he was absolutely phenomenal, so I can't see why we can't do that. Buy Milinkovic-Savic and keep Pogba, show a bit of ambition. But at the end of the day, I just can't see it happening. I just think it's going to be one or the other. If we do sign Milinkovic-Savic, I do think Pogba is going to leave, because the club will allow him to leave. I think that's an absolute fatal error if that happens, because like I've said in the past, we will have to sign another player to replace Pogba. Savic on his own will nowhere near be good enough. You know, Pogba's been able to adjust to the Premier League. People would argue he's not been fantastic. Nevertheless, Milinkovic-Savic has never played in the Premier League. It will have to take time to adjust to the Premier League. The intensity of the Italian league is nowhere near as intense. So what if he comes and he doesn't hit the ground running, which there is a likelihood of that happening, then we're going to be in absolute dire straits. Because make no mistake about it, without Pogba, our team is absolutely bang average, especially in the final third. We have no creativity whatsoever. Minus Pogba. So for me personally, I think it would be a brain dead decision to sell Pogba, buy Milinkovic-Savic, and that would be the end of my business. Coming back to some of the other players that we've been linked with, obviously Nicolas Pepe looks like today, you know, it's basically almost confirmed that Lazio are going to get Nicolas Pepe. It comes down to Nicolas Pepe. The fee has been agreed from the two clubs. I believe it's £72 million, something like €80 million, something along those lines, which for me personally, it is a lot of money, I've got to be honest. I would rather go for Fernandes if I had a choice between the two. I know people probably won't agree with that, but for me personally, I think a Cam is more of a necessity. I've always been strong on building a spine, so for me, I would say striker Cam, centre mid, CDM, centre back, goalkeeper. Of course, the spine of the team is more important for me than the wingers. However, of course, Nicolas Pepe is an unbelievable player, but I know this is probably unpopular opinion, but I think we have enough cover in the wide areas. Basically, what I'm saying is, I think the Cam is more important for us to replace than the wide, because we don't have anyone in Cam that's going to do a job and create for us. At the moment, like I said, Pogba is the sole creator, and I think on the right wing, you could probably get away with playing Daniel James there. Okay, don't get me wrong, he's not going to be fantastic all season, but you can get away with playing Jesse Lingard there. I don't think we can get away with playing Jesse Lingard in Cam for the whole season. I just don't think he has the creativity. I know we got Juan Mata, but he's past it for me. His legs have gone. He was never really fast, and obviously at the moment he's completely lost that. Anyways, coming back to the Milinkovic-Savic thing, for me personally, it would make sense if we were to sign him and keep Pogba, but I would not be open to the signing of Milinkovic-Savic if it means that Pogba has to leave. Basically, that is my point of view on this Milinkovic-Savic rumours. What do you guys think? Do you, basically, if you were Edward, would you sell Pogba and replace him with Milinkovic-Savic? Do you think that's enough? For me personally, that is nowhere near enough. I think that's, if anything, we're worse of a team without Pogba and Savic in the team. That's just my personal opinion. Whatever you say about Pogba, it is what it is. Anyways, just wanting to finish off on some of the more positive news. Gomez getting his first senior goal for Manchester United. Fair play to him. Took his goal brilliantly. I'm looking forward to seeing the youngsters playing. Hopefully they get a lot of minutes, because if anything, the youngsters for me have been the most important and the most impressive part of the pre-season. Something like statistically, Man United academy players basically scored 9 goals. One has been involved in every single goal, which is an absolutely fantastic statistic. One either a goal or assist in all 9 of those goals. So that's absolutely amazing. A lot of positivity regarding the youth players. There's a lot of potential. A lot of players that are hungry, which is what we want to see. A lot of passion. But at the end of the day, it comes down to Ed Woodward now. Basically, put your money where your mouth is. You talk a big game. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. A lot of people blame it on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but for me personally, he basically shoulders none of the blame for me. I'm not going to put any blame on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer whatsoever, because at the end of the day, if Ed Woodward does not do his job, which is delivering the players that he has asked for, i.e. Maguire, Fernandes, potentially Nicolas Pepe, obviously that's not going to happen now, then you can only point the finger at Ed Woodward. He's the only constant in the last 6 years. Ed Woodward is the only constant. Of course, the Glazers are. But he's the main constant for me. I'm sick and tired of people blaming the managers. You've got to look at the ball. It is not acceptable. I've just read a report now that the Glazers, one of the Glazers, I don't know her name, but she's taken out a second loan within the span of 5 weeks from Manchester United, which means they're taking money out of the club again, which is an absolute flipping joke. The Glazers don't give a shit. Ed Woodward, clearly all he cares about is balancing the books or making sure that he saves every single penny. I'm absolutely sick and tired of going on social media, seeing all these reports, knowing that nothing's going to come of them, because most of the time we're just fighting over £2 million. And I know £2 million, a lot of money to the normal human being, but in footballing terms, that's a piece of, it's absolutely nothing. It's basically like £2 equivalent. It's nothing to a club of Man United stature. Ed Woodward, pull your finger out and actually put the flipping money down, because at the moment, as it stands, we're going to be fighting for 5th and 6th with Arsenal, if not 7th with Wolves, because Wolves are showing more ambition. And just to add to that, Spurs are linked to Dybala. So what the hell are we doing? Since when has Spurs showed more ambition than Manchester United? It's an absolute flipping joke. I'm absolutely fuming with the lack of business. I've got to be honest. The Maguire situation is an absolute embarrassment. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said it's of utmost importance to him to get the Maguire done ASAP. Basically, what the hell are you waiting for? You're stalling over like £5 to £10 million. If you were more tactically inept within the transfer market, you would have sold the likes of Darmian, the likes of Rojo, etc., etc. Now that Bayes just got injured as well in our last game against Spurs, they know we're desperate now. They know we need to pay big dollar to get Maguire now. Obviously, they knew that anyways, but it's just lessened our hand even further than it already was against Leicester. They can flip in charge wherever they want. They can say, no, what, chuck us the extra £5 million on top of that, because that's how shit our transfer dealing has been on the part of Ed Woodward. Anyways, enough of that flipping rant. Regarding the Savic deal, let me know what you guys think. Would you sell Savic? Would you sell Pogba, and replace him with Savic, or do you think that's not good enough? For me personally, I've already said it. That is nowhere near good enough. If anything, that makes our team a lot weaker. Anyways, this has been your boy Osman. Back again with another video. Feel free to subscribe, drop a like, all that good stuff. Peace.